Good day. This is Poland Daily Culture, and my name is Maria Kądzielska. We continue with the topic of how Polish entrepreneurs and businessmen are helping Ukrainians and Ukrainian businesses and companies. With us is Maciej Gnyszka, the CEO of Business Associations in Poland. Again, Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you a lot.
In the previous episodes, you gave us a lot of examples of beautiful and brave and sometimes, I would say, spontaneous actions.
Or even crazy.
And even crazy of Polish businessmen who are trying to help Ukrainians. But I would say a lot of those things were, especially at the beginning, kind of a spur of a moment when we see the danger, and the outcome of the conflict in Ukraine was very unstable. Now we see that the Ukrainians are doing not bad and they are defending, but this war will not end tomorrow or even next month, but it will be ongoing conflict with a lot of problems, but also it needs to be fueled by a lot of money and I would say help, but organized help. So how Polish business is seeing the future, and is there any project of actually kind of putting all the puzzles together and seeing how we can do without, I would say, losing our breath?
Yeah, I think that after this spontaneous episode, we need to move to more organized episode, and it has come because I've heard about initiative, Polish-American initiative. I can't remember the name of guy, but he is an ex-American businessman who founded an organization which in every part of world where such catastrophe comes, he flies and he organizes huge humanitarian aid center, logistic center, and they organize help in very not bureaucratic way, but they have procedures, they have know-how, they know how to do it. They've made it in Africa, they've made it in Asia and so on. And I think that such initiatives, they will last for years. When I talked to Karol Poznański, who is one of PR volunteers of this project, he said, not only the war will not end in days or months, but in years. The results of humanitarian catastrophe will last for years. That's why we have to organize help for years. And this is one of, I think, many more initiatives. And I think that nowadays everyone can see that it is the only way we can act. On the other hand, many Ukrainians are starting to come back to Ukraine because, as we see, the great power of Russian Empire was smaller.
Isn't so great after all.
Yes, it is great, but not as great as we've seen it before the war. So many of refugees are nowadays going back to Przemyśl, and they cross the border in the direction to Ukraine. They come to Lviv and even to Kyiv. So I think
even though
there are some airstrikes in Kyiv. So I think that Polish society will not face the problem of long-lasting spontaneous help, which has not transformed to institutional help.
So that it kind of shifts a little bit more to institutional ways. And the cases, of course, we still have more than 2 million refugees, which mostly are women and children in Poland. So the question is there a space for them also to work here, to support themselves without public support? And
I think that business is a kind of human activity where you have to be flexible and to see chances in a changing world. So I think that in every situation you can see the chance, like in this memical story when the seller of boots were sent to Africa, and he calls back the headquarters and he says, "Chief, it is catastrophe. No one has boots here. They don't use boots." And the second says, "Boss, it's great market. There are no boots here. We can sell a lot of boots here." So I think that's the same with this situation. Maybe there are too many Ukrainian women, maybe, but we should ask another question. What we can do, what we can offer, what we can export to EU, to America, with this kind of asset, because it is a kind of asset. Let's
absolutely,
make
and
a
definitely.
business with
I hope
this asset.
businessmen will actually find a way
Of
to also
course.
find jobs for them and other ways to support their families, and that we will flourish with this element. And of course, there are right now more of us because of the Ukrainians. So this Polish-Ukrainian union, in many ways, is starting, and new relationships are becoming. We will see what comes out of it and how our Polish businessmen are actually dealing with the situations. But it's still, of course, developing and very complicated. So please stay with us, and we will see how it all changes. And thank you for watching Poland Daily Culture.